It was kind of more hectic. Probably the scariest part was right at the start of the pandemic when football completely stopped. There was no continuation, and you're like, "What are we going to write about?" And everyone's kind of bored and looking on their phones and a little bit stressed. So, I changed my job a little bit from being a football reporter to a news reporter, writing about what the issues were with the pandemic, how it's affected people in football. And there's lots of stories, but not very, fun Chelsea stories. Usually, football is an industry where you celebrate superheroes. Kevin De Bruyne is a superhero, Eden Hazard's a superhero. So yeah, it was more of a news reporter job for a little while. But when the football came back, I was back to my flow. The entertainment side of it came up again, and all this. So it was that was probably the most difficult period for me. And I was leaning on all of my contacts, trying to get interviews, trying to provide interviews about the past to try and distract people and keep people positive and things like that. So that's how I use my reporting. But yeah, when the games came back, it's not the same. Usually you go to the stadium and it's all packed on the train. The London Underground, if anyone's ever been on it, is like just so busy for the games, and you're just like squashed up against people, all in Chelsea shirts and things like this. So yeah, it's different. And when you're in the match as well, it's very strange. The first match I went to was actually the one where Liverpool won the league. It's Chelsea beat Man City, and then by beating Man City, it confirmed Liverpool as the champions of England. And it was a big event, but it didn't feel like such a big event. There was nobody in the stadium singing, mocking each other and all this. So yeah, and we found, like, as time goes on as well, like, your reporting, you don't really realize it, but your reporting is really influenced by the crowd. So like, you can hear the reactions to things, and it gives you that emotional connection a bit extra. So you do lose that. And I think the time we lost it the most was when Frank Lampard was sacked from Chelsea, because he's got such an emotional connection for Chelsea fans, legend, and on all this. And he feels, that if the fans were in the stadium, he might have done a better job, because he had that and he could push the team on a little bit. And when there were hard times, fans like Chelsea fans sometimes really get behind the team and push them through the hard times. So yeah, we didn't have that as reporters, as players, as the manager. And maybe that influenced the events, it must have done. Social media takes more prominence in these times because we find connections now through WhatsApp, Zoom, as we're doing right now, and a few other platforms. So yeah, it's been a strange time for sure.